I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock and stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so next up on the agenda, there's a lot of people here, is to go for a site walk down to the park and ride and talk about what the plans are down there. So I think that's what we're going to do. If you guys would follow us down, we'll wander across the park and we'll hear what the concerns are, and we can actually look at what we're talking about.
Do we want to do any background information on it?
I was going to say, I have plans that I can hand out as we leave if somebody wants to see the schematics and the proposals.
Yeah, and a little bit about the lighting.
And we should be back for the normal start about 7 is the goal. So while we wait for stragglers coming back in, I mean, let's just, if anybody's got some questions for Du and King, for you guys?
Just, we leave the cannon where it is. And it sounds like there was also some input about more handicap parking. And what does that do to the engineering study that we have? And at what point have we changed so much that you're...
I think in that little, just if I can add to that, in that little area is unique because it has a church, it has an apartment building right there for handicapped people, it has a funeral home, and then it has the downtown area. So I think we need a lot more than 4. There needs to be some at each of those places.
What is the number? Is it 6?
I think it's more than, I personally think it's more than that.
Just remember, every handicap space you put in...
I know it takes more space.
I'm assuming, but it must be double, it must take 2 spaces. General rule?
Almost 1, because you have to have a 5 or an 8 foot strip, depending if it's a car accessible or van accessible.
Maybe 2 would be, to add 2, you'd lose 3 spaces.
Just count 2 for every handicap.
They don't all have to be van accessible either.
I think they do.
Oh, by law, they do?
If they're handicapped, right?
I believe they need to have a 5 foot minimum for a car and maybe 8 for a van.
Yeah. If the handicap parking was placed somewhere between Mallory's and the church, they could use the driveway that goes into Mallory's for the accessible thing to get on the sidewalk to go to Mallory's or to the church. The church right there also.
That's true.
There's nothing close to the park.
With respect to the study of the grant, I believe that would be within the requirements. Any one of these changes I typically run by the V-Trans supervisor or project manager and just get a confirmation from him.
Okay. One other thing that I heard, and that was some discussion around the rain garden and whether, now my understanding is that that's how the grant and everything was put together. So whether you want to, there still needs to be at least, tell me if we can't do away with the rain garden, or if we do, doesn't that undermine the whole project? The cannon's not a showstopper, but the rain garden, it sounded like it's a showstopper for me. So now, when you say a rain garden, it's not this, going to the Amazon. It might be, a little bit of grass, a bush here. I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be, right?
But the goal is to have a filter strip for the water, make our parking lot a little more environmentally friendly, right?
We're thinking like
Slow the water down, leaving it,
as you were saying,
and see a lot of positives.
something like cedar bark mulch, the media beneath it to filter the water, and that it can have sporadic plantings that would aid in the absorption of storm water.
Underneath that parking lot, the pavement, that's all sand. So if you took a strip of pavement out and put like a curb on each side of it, some grass or whatever you want to put in there, the water flow down through there, and also it would never get to the other end anyway.
Would we, is there any way to tell if we could eliminate catch basins because of that, or?
If
Jeff? the main catch basin for that whole system is down by Rasmussen's driveway.
Anyway,
So we want, another reason we want that rain garden right where we've located it, an alternative, is that under low storm events, the water's gonna drain to that low point, right where the catch basins already are, they're located in the low points, it's gonna drain. Under high storm events, think of the, the 100-year storm or something like that, water's gonna inundate potentially that little rain garden area. And the engineering media might not have enough infiltration, so the water is going to raise up in that rain garden area. What we want to do is keep some type of drainage infrastructure there that will act as full overflow. Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna raise the catch basin, it was designed to raise the catch basins a little bit, I mean, some amount.
We're going to raise it slightly, so I haven't figured out what grade, but above the proposed grade.
Of the filter, yeah, right, okay.
go
I
ahead.
hate to monopolize, but and the one other thing I heard was could we get, with one place to walk across the rain garden, there's quite a bit of distance down to the next place to cross. Would it be possible to put at one more or two more places to cross?
It's possible. That would be, obviously, non-ADA can cross the rain garden if they chose. This would be for ADA purposes.
Right.
If you're adding more, that you're taking away something, you're taking away parking stalls by adding more.
That's,
Right.
what, 4, right? 4, 2 on either side, or maybe even 6.
Well, if you have an 8-foot stall, or 9-foot stall, I can't remember what we were proposing, 9. The sidewalk's only 5 feet wide. It's potential to only lose 1, 2, 4.
But it's at an angle,
Yep, we'd have
at
to,
least what I see.
So it sounds like,
Well, wouldn't it be two more on each side? Got it,
one
okay.
side, 2 in the middle perhaps.
Yeah. So would you propose a crosswalk on every one of those all the way across? A mid,
We currently show 1. I think
Would you end up with-
two would be also appropriate.
okay,
3 might be, I don't know, it's open to interpretation.
okay, two sounds.
I think that would be better,
To do 2?
2 or 3. It's quite a long, it's quite a distance.
so you're saying 3? See, what I'm trying to work for is, so when we end up making a motion and making a decision, to say, okay, here, things like the cannon doesn't move, the rain garden is still there, we're putting 2 more crosswalks in,
I know.
and then it just leaves one area in that park and ride, it's all park and ride, that we hadn't talked about, and we didn't talk down there, and that was
Lighting?
the lighting. And I know we heard we wanted more vintage to match. Go ahead.
So in this alternative 1 plan, that's what I'm looking at right here with the angled parking.
Yep.
So there's 9 parking spaces between each of those crosswalks, 81 feet. To me, 81 feet is really not that far. I don't see the necessary need or the extended cost of adding more of those crosswalks myself. 81 feet, we just walk to the other end of the park and back, and I don't see any of us winded or having problems getting up out of the chair after we're done here.
Okay, excuse me, I'm gonna have exception to that, because I am handicapped, and I'm deemed handicapped. It's a long way. Anytime I go to park somewhere, it's kind of embarrassing to say, but I'm looking for the easiest way. And that's a long way.
Across the park or the 81 feet?
81 feet, or, 2 might be okay, but you can't just assume because none of us got winded going to the park and back that everybody's okay.
The 2 is gonna get you down to what, 30? 30, 40 feet?
Well, and
Yeah.
here's the reason I'm a big proponent of putting 2 more in, is because once we put something, whether it's a curb or the rain garden that we're putting down through there, people that use the funeral home and the church that are parking there, and that's not your average
lot of elderly people.
individual. I don't want to make where there have issues, and there aren't, you're only going to have so many parking spaces on the close side. I would imagine there's going to be people that need to park and go across that
And I
window.
don't really feel that we have to worry about losing 2 or 4, whatever it is, parking spaces, because we haven't proven yet that we even use half of it all the time. It'd be great, but I don't think we're not hurting for parking right now, so.
During high use times, like the
Yeah.
concerts in the park, we
Yeah.
are hurting.
Yeah. But,
You can handle that.
Okay.
I'm holding you to that one, John.
We have so far.
They do good.
Those are the,
They do really well in the concert.
Yep, they do good.
And on the lighting, I didn't hear much discussion, so I'm looking more than people sitting there for what, for the
I'm
input.
right in that park up at night.
Well, and it's in the park, but also in talking on the park and ride, there's some additional lighting that I saw in the plan, in this plan on option.
Not that kind.
So is,
As long as we're not talking about spotlights going into,
no, they're like,
infringe on people's
the
property.
parking lot lights,
No, they're
like
parking
just,
lot lights,
you know,
but,
you call them a shoebox light, right? The light's gonna kind of come down
Right.
out of them.
On page 11 of the handout, the park
There-
lighting was it alternative 3 that you, on page 11 of that?
Yeah, but we're basically talking about lights that you would see in Shaw's or parking lot or,
Page 4 is catch.
Page 4, there's one too.
correct, Jay? Same as Maple.
I actually do have a question about the lighting, where it's gonna be positioned, and then the rain garden. I know there's been vandalism down at the gazebo, and then, when I had the cafe on the corner, I know there were people who lived in the building who park in that parking lot all the time. I know somebody at the park had said, well, maybe there should be a limit on how long people can park there. Just, there are a lot of people who live in the apartments that use that parking lot, like that is where they.
I got the impression that they meant days.
Yeah.
Just not a, don't leave your broken vehicle. It's not a place where, hey, my car broke down, we can leave it for a month.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if you had the idea, like, okay, you can only, like, you know how in front of the commercial buildings, you can only park for a couple hours?
Yes.
Just,
It won't, yeah, I didn't get that.
But,
But I'm speaking out of turn, sorry.
there was somebody who had his car windshield broken a couple of times. I knew people that had gas siphoned out of their gas tanks and things. This happened like just 2 years ago, several incidents in that parking lot. So when I didn't see the packet that everybody's looking at, but I saw the plan from, I guess it was came out about 2 years ago that showed a couple of options, so I didn't know if those are the options you're still talking about.
They've changed somewhat.
They've changed since this last survey.
But when I saw this row of trees down the middle of the parking lot, I'm thinking, is that gonna decrease visibility, or is it gonna be designed in a way that you can't have people doing nefarious activities in the parking lot? And, like, there's gonna be lighting, but is the
I think
rain
these
garden
guys-
gonna create any obstruction of view?
The rain garden itself, no, the trees can be spaced so that there is, clear lines of sight, no darkness
Yeah.
in the park.
Because that's something I'd
Or
be
in the rain
concerned
garden
about.
itself.
And I know it's not part of this project, but I do think we need to really talk about cameras downtown. Cameras in that parking lot and cameras in the park around the bandstand, just because, with that kind of stuff going on and the stuff that's been going on at the bandstand, it's just, that would help. So I feel like lighting, even if it can't be the lovely vintage lighting, having lighting at all has got to be a big step forward. And I'm really glad y'all are working on that, so.
So, any other?
Go ahead.
I was ready to make a motion in direction. Or if you need.
Are we, Well-
want to do them one at a time.
Well, which way are you headed on this? Are you,
I was, well,
Moving
I
the
think I'm
project-
looking for what in order to move the project forward.
okay.
My understanding is you're looking for approval from the board for the concept with the concept, so that you can go ahead and finalize some things that you'll come back again and show one last time. Is that,
We're submitting conceptual plans to you, preliminary plans, final. You're gonna be looking at this a minimum of 3 more times for any comments you have.
that's good.
The other things that, besides what was discussed, was I'd like to confirm that you do want a WB or 62, a tractor trailer going through this area. I was told,
That's
No,
what they were
no,
told in the beginning.
good, I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead, John.
If we have a problem here from this building or down past the cannon on the War Memorial, we need to use that trucks to go back around that area. We need it so we can run a truck down West Park Place, across the south, and let them let us know. And also, we have trailer trucks that go down to,
Well, can't you just, if you had a problem here,
with food stuff,
John,
and they come back.
John, if you had a problem here, couldn't we just reroute out around town, wider?
Well, how do you do that with 4 people, 3 people?
You've got a
Go
roadway,
ahead.
you've got a roadway down through that parking lot. That's gonna be plenty wide enough to run a truck down through.
a tractor trailer, even though we don't accommodate for one, they could still go in and through there and their back portion of it, hop on the curb ramp. And they could still go through there. We would obviously make the sidewalk a thicker section through that area. That's commonly done. Where I was going with this was, you really want to accommodate one so that they can free flow through there without having to jump the curb.
Most truck drivers won't go over, put their.
What is in the design today?
On the truck.
Is for an 18-wheeler to pull in.
There will need, we're gonna refine some of the turning radii, but I think I showed this in the slide. There are a couple.
You just lose a couple spots on the end to make it happen, right?
Right. Another thing is, a tractor trailer can just wait until there's no oncoming traffic and use the other portion of the travel lane to make the maneuver.
A softer turn.
And do you think we could get backed up in this town?
Any other,
Trucks can get backed up in this town.
any other discussion on that? So which way are we going?
Well, he asked the question of, do we want to accommodate an 18, a tractor trailer? And I'd be going, why would I want, I know I don't want to accommodate a tractor trailer. If a tractor trailer wants to come in on the west side of the park and come down around and just use the exit portion of you come in and park,
To offload it like Dunkin'.
to offload at the Dunkin' Donuts, fine. They don't need to have, and we could put a sign on the entrance there that they'll probably work about as good as our sign up here that says no trucks on 4th Street when they go across. But we have a sign that says no, well, we can put a no trucks, and I'm not saying they wouldn't go there, but the intent is, no, I wouldn't encourage 18-wheelers to go into that area.
If you put a sign like that, they'd be responsible if they do any damage.
Right.
Oh, that makes sense.
I guess the final thing I wanted confirmation on was, on both these options, we're showing one-way traffic flow. I think the property owners and residents may have a say one way or the other, whether it's on the south side, you're going right to left, and on the north side, you're going left to right, or like a clockwise or a counterclockwise orientation. That will change depending if you want to do an angled stall or a perpendicular stall, or if you wanted to do two-way traffic flow on both ends. You can do that with the perpendicular alternative number 2, because we have 24 feet in width.
Does that shorten up your parking? No.
So
I thought we decided we're gonna do diagonal parking because we don't, perpendicular wouldn't let the bigger trucks go in
I think so.
and park. And the one way of coming in on the south end of the park and it going around and then coming back by the church and Mallory's and back out, that is consistent, I think, Jay, with the,
I would say that's the way you should go.
So you're changing this road to one way?
If you go,
No.
the
Okay.
other way around, you're gonna confuse.
Yeah.
we are making it one way when you come on by the bus stop. It's one way coming in, down to Adams Street, then one way going back out.
I think you should have it one way.
I guess one final thing is you're not gonna have one way because the gas station in that area, that way would be two-way.
Yeah, just in that small area.
Just in that small area right there, yes.
How do you propose to delineate that?
You just put the one-way sign
Like when
past the gas
well, but it's
station.
gonna funnel down.
Stop sign.
Signage.
Okay, it's all just saying. Okay.
And
I'm just
potentially
thinking-
pavement markings.
New to town, you know, you pull in there and you're like, whoa.
I don't think the one-way police are gonna get them.
They won't get me. Okay,
I don't
perfect.
know, that's for sure.
So to try, seeing I was the one who was holding up the decision on the Canon, can we, and maybe it isn't a motion, it's just,
I'm
I'm
ready.
fine with, the Canon doesn't,
I'm ready to say the cannon is
the
not.
Canon doesn't move, I don't
Nobody
know.
wants a cannon moved, yeah.
Rod, you're, so we can say the consensus, Canon stays?
Or were you hoping that it was closer to your side of town?
You want to move, you want to point it,
I
you
wanna
want to
change-
point it at,
Change the trajectory so it can, I don't care one way or the other.
Right.
So I think the direction that we've given you is the Canon stays. It sounds like where we are, that everything we heard is diagonal parking is direction we're giving. It also sounds like the additional handicap parking, we'd like you to look at something that's gives you some additional over by Mallory's, the church in that area.
By
and-
those two additional crosswalks.
Right.
Try to add in
I-
somewhere near those, right?
2 additional.
That's what he's talking about.
Yep.
That's what these guys said.
And you'd lose 4 each side.
6.
At least 6 parking spaces. But that's what you're, the lighting,
two-
it sounds like,
2 crosswalks would be enough down there. I think you.
could
I think
we
2 would
look
be
at,
enough.
could we look at a
These bump
proposal that
outs.
shows
I'm thinking,
putting,
Chris,
with
one
snow-
more in and then
snow
2 more
removal?
in with what you have, so we can see what
You're not
those
gonna do it
numbers,
flat.
would
You're
it be
gonna
that
do
much
it front
trouble
end
to
Shovel.
show us
Shovel.
that?
Yeah. You're not gonna have any room to move.
And it sounds like the lighting that they originally proposed, we're not giving them any different, yeah? Because again, we're gonna.
Well, I think it's going to
let's-
change because of the changes that we're making. They might come back with,
With some different,
yeah, we had to
the
accommodate
same
the,
so we'll wait
yeah,
up
the
the line.
same style,
Yeah,
yes,
same
yes.
So,
Same stuff.
does that cover most of your bases?
I think it covers the park and ride. I guess with respect to the lighting though, you want us to wait before you make a decision on the lighting?
So, I guess for me to make a decision on lighting, we gotta talk about money.
What's it gonna cost?
Yeah. There's not enough in the project to pay for the second to pay for the antique lighting, correct? There's no way to make that work without a significant contribution from the town.
I believe the alternative one, which is the ornamental lighting along the legs, is just about at the grant funding amount.
Right, that works. In the park.
Yes.
In the park proper is,
That's, yeah.
and I think I'm speaking out of turn again, but I think we're all on board with antique lighting in the park.
Right, that one's good.
And then when you get out into the parking lot, what are we gonna do there? But if we put antique lighting all through that, it would blow the budget for the project.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Jay?
think you should put the regular lighting in the parking lot for the fact of lighting the parking lot more.
Yeah, it's just gonna
You know what I'm
spread
saying? You
better.
have more with your overhead lighting and your bigger lighting, you have more of an area that's covered. And I think it'd stop a lot of vandalism because there'd be more lighting there.
I agree. I guess what I'm trying to get at is I don't think that the antique lighting is really even a
Doesn't light up.
possibility
We agreed to that
at the
last
moment.
time.
Through the park, you know.
We agreed to that last
We
time?
agreed to this last, yeah.
Was I? Oh, okay. I think I was here for that too.
Jeff, the idea of the lighting was to light up all the dark areas of the park.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
Antique lighting does not throw as much light as the other light.
just take us through the economics one more time. If we do all of these things this way, and I know there's some changes, what's the town's exposure financially for that?
Just the lighting.
For both things?
Okay.
Lighting in the park, you said the grant pretty well covers it with our match.
There might need to be some small modifications. I was talking to someone right after the get-together would be potentially getting rid of the ornamental lights around the outside because there's already existing ambient lights there. Another option is to just install a concrete base in one area, and then at a future date, when you do come up with the money, install an additional ornamental lights. Yeah, put the post in. With respect to the park and ride, each of the alternatives that I presented in the video conference a few weeks ago, they were about $300,000. I think what I'm hearing is, based on the decisions made, it's going to be about the same, if not reduced.
Okay.
With respect to the park lighting, alternative A or alternative 1, which is the spokes of the lighting, we're talking $146,000 or so. In addition to that, in our scope, we said we would look at park lighting, or lighting the park at the existing parking stalls on the north and the east side. I think that resulted in something like 6 additional lights, and that was an additional $59,000 on top of the $146,000. And then for alternative C, lighting the park and ride, we chose to do a shoebox just because it's not efficient to do the ornamental lights. That came at a cost of $86,000 construction.
So 300, 150, 50, and 86? Add those all together?
450.
586, right?
586 or something.
So if you take 586 minus allocated grant funds, what do you have?
I don't know what the allocated grant funds are, I believe.
How much, what's the grant for? Is it like 100,000 or is it 500,000?
He's just trying to figure-
Park lighting is 150, almost 152,000. And the park and ride is 200 and almost 290,000.
So we're 186 short?
No,
Did I not do my math right?
no, you're adding things together that are not,
If you do everything. That's what I'm trying to get. Can you,
so if you want to put lighting in the parking lot, if that's, I don't know what we're getting to, but if you want to put lighting in the parking lot, it will cost an additional $86,000
above the grant?
above the grant. Right now, we can put lighting in the park and we can do the parking lot.
Okay, that's what I'm getting
without
at.
lighting.
It's going to cost you another $90,000.
So I guess my question for the board is, where you feel about 86,000 coming out of next, year, 2 years budget?
Well, we gotta have lighting, so we'll have to look and see what we can.
Or do you just prove the project with the park lighting and start moving forward?
I thought you just said that if you put regular lighting in the parking lot, there was no addition to.
That's why I'm asking this question. I think that we're talking,
I think you're putting
Two
everyone
different
on the
things.
spot with all these changes.
Yeah.
I'd
I need to
say
go back there.
get
Too much on
a
the
piece
spot?
of
Okay.
paper back
Yeah.
and saying, okay, this is
I-
where it lays out.
what I'm saying is I think parking lot lighting is not in the scope of the grant.
Parking lot
They
lighting.
need
is not
time to go back and.
So wait on this question?
I thought that was the antique park, the lights in the parking lot.
Well, that's what I thought at first, but now my question's changed.
No, right, no, there's already lighting, such as it is, lighting in that park and ride area. If you leave it alone, there's no, I think the money sounded like it was pretty close, but if you put new lighting in the park and ride, or no, that's not what you're saying?
Okay.
Where's additional?
There is no
86?
lighting in the, so let's start with the basis.
Start fresh, just,
Starting fresh. $300,000 to do the parking lot.
because if I'm this confused, everybody's confused, I think.
Okay,
Okay, so you got 300, you're doing the parking lot. Now that project is done. Let's set that aside. Now let's talk about lighting. We have a grant to do lighting in the park. Du Bois and King has also offered an alternative to do lighting in the park as well as lighting in the parking lot.
Okay.
That's that project. To put lighting in the parking lot will increase the lighting project by $86,000.
Right, but that's not,
And that is not funded.
it's not matchable money, it's not funded.
It's not funded. The regular spoke lighting is funded, parking lot lighting is not funded.
So that's what I want everyone to understand, because I'm just wrapping my head around this.
So we're gonna get a brand new parking ride with no lighting.
At the moment,
Are you talking about
At the
antique
moment.
lighting, Joe, or are you talking about regular lighting, or what are you talking about in the park?
No lighting, period. No additional lighting to that space with this
This is
grant.
different than what, we're getting two different stories here. 'Cause
no,
He
You're
said
not.
if you use the regular lights for a parking lot, they'd come in, you know.
I think I confused the issue when I asked my question the way I did.
It's $86,000 to put standard lighting in, non-ornamental,
Right.
in the parking, right?
Otherwise, 300K just does the parking.
It's just
I'm
this
with
paper.
you.
300 or 100 or.
Yeah, we don't need a decision yet.
No, we don't need, that's what I'm saying. So what direction are these guys going?
I think we've given them a lot to go back and rework, and we're going to get to see it again. Let them come back with the changes, knowing that the big decision we have is still to decide whether we want to spend that $86,000 for lighting, and if we do, how do we fund that? A lot of different ways to go back and ask.
And I can't find any of that 86 by taking the like lights around the outside of the park out, because they were already over budget anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We do like,
That's what I was trying to wrap my head around. So thank you.
so like we talked about there earlier, where there is some floodlights at the end of the spokes right now. If we got rid of one of the ornamental lights on each spoke, there's potential cost
6.
savings there to go towards the parking right lighting.
Right, well, and I'd be curious if you, when we talked about taking one of those out of each of the spokes, does that 86 turn into 40,000 or 45,000? Because, or 20,000, that would make it real easy to make a decision on what to do with it.
Well, I'm going off my memory here. I think I said
9 or 10, right?
8, 9, 10 per light. So six spokes to the park. So
48,000.
Yeah, that range.
Should be down to
We'd be pretty close.
30.
We could make it work.
Start up on 30.
Yeah, true, but easier.
That's your
to
number, 30.
It's always 30.
30,000 is easier to find than 85.
Agreed.
The one thing I'd like to mention is if we are proposing to reduce the lighting around the ornamental lighting around the outside of the park, I just want to run that by V-Trans.
D-Trans to make sure.
Confirm they agree that, we're still meeting grant requirements.
Are any of the committee members still here that worked on this? I wondered if they had any thoughts on the outside, but they'll be here next time. We'll.
We're way
Okay.
over. This guy's been waiting an hour.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep. Sorry, guys. All right. You guys need any other information, or we can close the. We don't need to really close it, but.
Just to summarize what we were discussing,
ahead.
or the lighting itself, so our next step is submit conceptual plans for V-Trans and the town's review. Where are we going with the lighting?
Park with antique lighting. Shoebox is in the parking lot, so we can talk about it,
So we can talk about it.
and we'll go forward from there. Is that? But at least we can go into eyes open. Thanks, guys.
Good.
And you're good on everything else?
One final question, we're gonna get a good bite to eat on the way out.
Very banana.
All right.
30 minutes.
Are they
Going
open?
back towards Burlington?
30 minutes, just over there.
Okay, and turn it there.
You do wheel too, yeah?
If they're going up 22A, the wheel. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to go 24, we can't go up 30.
Can't go up 30, okay. So wheel.
No. Or
Caving in, and if they're not open, wheel in. Great deal.
Thank you again, guys.
No.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Amendments to the agenda.
I actually have two.
Amendments?
Yeah. We had a liquor license, submitted. If we could put liquor license under new business. And then we had a loan application submitted, for the revolving loan fund, if that could go into executive session first. And then a final discussion after executive.
Do you,
Loan application.
Revolving loan fund.
is there a motion?
These have to be done, the liquor license is not a big issue, but the revolving loan fund, it's nice.
If we don't do it, then we lose
We
it.
lose the money on the 30th, so it's, I'll make a motion that we add the under new business, the liquor license request, item C, and under executive session, add the revolving loan fund application.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Glenn, seconded by Rod. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Approval of the June 15th minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written, June 15th.
Is there a second?
Second?
Motion made by Carol, seconded by Glenn to approve the June 15th minutes as written. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Motion carries. Appointment with the Eureka Lodge, Thom and Jeff. Sorry to keep you waiting,
Yep.
guys.
That's all right.
You can blame me.
We'll try to be quick because we're not asking to spend any town money.
Okay,
Okay.
We drew a quick, we met with the planning commission, their last meeting, and they okayed us putting our sign down by the monument, or down by the cannon, they thought was the best place. So,
Page 2 sample of what the plot would look like on
we
the
kind of picked out a spot there where the grass is all torn up. You can see the dark spot there. Yep. So it's about 40 feet away from the fire hydrant, so it won't bother any fire trucks. And it's like 37 feet from the fence and then 20 feet in.
So it's gonna be there. Got it.
Yeah. So the grass is all torn up. You can see where we thought. The sign would be up for about 3 months. Memorial Day to right after Labor Day. We used to leave the flags up until Veterans Day, but the fall weather beats the heck out of them. So now we bring them down right after Labor Day. So this is not a permanent sign, other than, we would leave the post, but the sign itself will come down. There's no lighting on it, won't detract from anything. We thought as people went to the concerts and stuff, they could see. I'll give you a quick brief. When we started this, about 10 years ago, we've been doing.
We started 10 years ago.
We started 10 years ago. When we started, it was the Chamber gave us some money, the Legion gave us money, and we did it. Over the last 3-4 years, we've been footing the bill ourselves. Every couple of years, 2-3 years at the max, we spend a couple $1,000s on new flags. That's $2,000 that we, in a sense, can't put to other things. For a small little lodge, we average, because I'm the treasurer, we average about $6,000 a year that we put back into the community. We are, in fact, the most generous lodge in the state of Vermont, we've been told. So that's why we asked for help. Jeff and I, we talked about it. We figured maybe we'd get a couple dozen people to offer to help. We have 128 people that have donated for flags. We have enough money right now to keep the flags up for the next decade.
That's great.
So the board we're talking about is sort of a thank you and also a memorial board, in the sense that a lot of the flags were purchased for someone in particular, but then some of them were just all veterans or anybody,
Yeah.
There was people in town, people from out of town, people that grew up here, don't live here anymore, but maybe they wanted a flag in memory of their dad or uncle or something like that. So that's basically what we're looking for. It's just for, like I said, about 3 months. And Planning Commission felt that that was the place for it. We didn't feel it belonged in the Memorial Park because it's not really that. It's more of a thank you to people, and then they'll get to see their father, son, brother, whatever, named him. So that's about it, right? So that's all we got. We won't hold you guys up.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it again next year for donations or what?
Are we what?
Are you gonna send out for donations next year?
I don't know how we're gonna do it.
We haven't really, this all started so quick in March
Yeah.
and steamrolled so fast that we haven't really, we plan on keeping it as an open donation.
Okay.
So we can continue doing it year after year
So
after year.
you-
3 years is the max on our flag.
So somewhere by March, you're
And there
gonna,
might be another.
you're gonna put something out
Yes.
for
Yeah.
the donations are gonna be accepted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So even if we put the sign up tomorrow, it would only be there till Labor Day. So,
Okay.
Yeah, and I see it's a 2 by 4 foot thing with the
It's a 4x6 sign
4 by 6?
On a 2 by 4
Yeah.
post.
Okay, got it.
on a 4x4 post, and the plaques that are going on the sign are 2 inches by 4 inches.
2 inches, okay, that's what that
the
was.
That's the two.
and we have room for like 200,
Yeah,
200 flags.
It's a nice thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
So do you need an approval, or are you just telling us?
So, yeah, to answer your question, Joe, Jay, we'll probably just kind of keep it open,
Just
but
so we
people
know.
understand that.
So we know when we get it in.
It takes us about almost a year to get approval from Green Mountain Power to add more flags. So we kind of been holding back on adding more right now. We just tried to, and it did, it took off on us, you know. I laughed at Jeff and I said, you know, some people will donate more than you think. And he said, well, if we get a couple dozen, that'd be great. So we got 10 times that.
And to be honest, the 30 or 32 we have up takes a lot of time to maintain.
Yeah.
Well, but they
I
do.
mean, I ride down the ladder, untangle them, try to keep them up, keep them straight.
Especially the
Wind
wind
takes them down. The
Yeah,
wind,
wind
I don't know how
takes them
many of you realize the wind coming up through Main Street is horrendous.
That's what we're asking for, permission for that sign and that spot, but
So we
not
need,
set in stone either. But
Just ask the rookie question, it's more procedural. I know we have a policy or something in our zoning ordinance on signs and things here. Sounds like we talked to the planning board and
Planning
checked.
Commission okayed it, but they said because it is the park, it has to be okayed by you folks.
Okay, but so we're living, I just want to make sure we're not doing something that we have something written down somewhere that says we can't do it.
Joe?
So I'm-
you got any?
No, absolutely, he's right. We're living to our
we're
ordinances by
living
doing
to,
it.
and I just,
We kind of did it backwards, but it's still getting done.
we're living to the well, I took a brief look at it, but I just want to make sure.
Joe came to you guys first because we said, well, if the select board doesn't want it, what's the point of us even going forward? You know, so we kind of did it backwards, but,
We got there.
you know, it kind of all happened in-house.
Okay, so I need a motion if,
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we allow the Eureka Lodge to install the board with the brass plates,
Well, they're actually in the
They're a plastic plate,
plastic plate.
similar to what's on the fence post in the park.
Uh-huh.
It's a white plate with blue lettering.
They advised against brass
Brass.
because they'll get tarnished and everything else.
So
and what are the dates that it'll be up?
I would say Memorial
They
Day
usually put the flags up the weekend before Memorial Day, and
and
just after Labor Day. I'd say the week after.
let's just
that.
count
How
that
about
in your
May through
motion.
May through September? I'll make a motion that we install the board with the names of the individuals who donated and to run from May through September. That way,
we would probably try to do it when we do the flags at Memorial Day, you know.
Okay. Is there a
I'll second
second?
Like I said, about the week before Memorial Day.
Motion by Glenn, seconded by Carol, to allow Eureka Lodge to install the board and, or are we installing? Which
No,
way?
we're doing it.
You're doing it. to allow them to install, and there's between those dates. Is there any other discussion?
And we will maintain the board.
And they will maintain the board. You can put that in there too. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5 minutes for public comment. John.
Very good. That's what I do. Remember.
John.
We have just got to talking about the free parking area. Down on the Adams Street end, there's a storm drain down there that's sunk down about 8 inches.
Okay.
And until it's repaired, I'd like to see a cone put in there, especially while we're having the concert. So if somebody doesn't step in there and break an ankle or something.
Seems easy enough, Joe.
And over on Massachusetts driveway, that we've got another storm drain that one leads into. It's sad near of repair, it belongs to that. We got a new cone in that one.
Maybe we should have DPW take a look. Let us know.
Done fine on the corner of Mechanic and 4th, and that's pretty well taken care of. And also, the failed septic system on Scotch Hill is repaired, it's complete.
Cool.
Good.
And one last thing. I mentioned to Jeff tonight when I went through the park, there's a red maple tree in the War Memorial over here, in the triangle. And there's a bush that grows up around it now that's so big that you can't see the traffic coming down North Main Street because of that bush. It's either gonna be cut back or taken out completely.
Where was that?
Let's be careful on memorial things.
Well, this bush
trimming.
was planted, and it's always gonna be kept small, but it's not small anymore.
Why don't you find out who's in charge of maintenance in there?
War Memorial?
We'll go.
I'll take a look and see, Joe, if we need to trim it.
Anything else, John?
And Lord doesn't know.
Perfect. I don't see any other hands. Jay, I will get you. I promise. I'm not.
But they just kind of checked the fountain in the park, it looks like it's turned septic in there right now.
It did look that way when we all drove up.
Yeah, it was green and,
Smelled pretty bad too.
yeah, just, I felt there's a plug or something maybe, I'm not sure what it'd be, but.
It needs to be cleaned out.
Anything else?
For somebody who's.
That's easy.
I ran my milk there, but
Jeff?
Your turn. John, let me get it back.
We stopped putting water in there because of that problem last year. We just drained it and cleaned it and let it go. Well, the year before that,
Well, let's fix it. It's a nice fountain. Keep it going good.
Okay, just a heads up, you've got two things, two packet things in your packet from me. One is we marked out the airport, the new location at the airport property.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
That's because I just got in too.
Okay.
Okay, he got some earlier and I just gave him.
Okay.
So, and the other one is the pavilion property. We walked the area down there. It is not a good area. I mean,
Where are we talking about?
we're talking the new location
let's
at
back
the
up.
runway. The new location at the runway. We went out, we marked it after listening to what the delineator had to say, what we could and couldn't do. It's not a good area. It doesn't matter how hard we work at it. It's not going to be what the town wants. And what the town should want is an asset to the town. If, there's a new drawing in there.
Do you have those? Can you pass them around or? Okay.
The RC Flyers have been mowing behind their shed. So there's a lot that's already mowed that we can continue mowing. Anything that hasn't been kept up and mowed, we can't start mowing. So the more area we have in a non-mowed area, we're going to have hay fields. Cleaning up poop is going to be impossible. So, I mean, that location was the one that the board approved, that we went to the people and said, okay, the town said we can put it there, it's got bathrooms, it's got everything. I'm gonna fight to get that location back. It's not good enough that we think Kendall's, I think that Kendall's need to take part in the discussion so we can mitigate any of their issues, but to just have them not show up and them be the reason we can't have it by the pavilion, it doesn't wash. And I've posted about the plan to fight it, and people are saying, yeah, we want the original location. You know, and you'll see when you look at the plans, for as much work as we did marking it out, it's not going to be an asset to the town. And we want them, that's what we want, is one of the best dog parks in the area, and we can't do it on the runway. It's just, it looks like we parked a dog park on a runway. So, and it has nothing to do with the RC Flyers, because I heard today they weren't gonna fight it, they're gonna move north with their flying. So, at both spots, the delineator said, we could start tomorrow building the dog park. We don't need a permit, nothing, as long as we keep within what we were told.
So just, if I could, when we went out there, was it 2 weeks ago with Lynn and Joe and this wetlands expert, she made it pretty clear that so long as we design it using the existing fill, existing gravel, currently mowed areas, there's no need whatsoever for a permit from the state. Fencing doesn't require a permit unless it's cemented in. So she basically said that the area at the pavilion that we first looked at, and then the area that's on the south side of the runway, the grass runway, that area down there, you mentioned that it's a very dry area. We
Right
were
at the
looking,
Y.
yeah.
Okay.
So we
Go down there and
really-
take a left.
Yeah, right. So we looked at that really carefully. We went down there and measured it out, but we started looking at, okay, if you have dogs running around in there, if you can't mow it.
So that's always
Yeah.
been mowed there.
Well,
It's just
a
the one-
little bit, what you hay doesn't count as mowing.
Oh, okay.
What is mowed along with the RC Flyers, you're right. So
Right.
we're looking at very little area
I
that
think-
we could do it. So there are two viable locations. The question is, which is better for the town?
Why don't you, can we have just a
We don't have.
minute to look at those, at what
I
you've
was-
sent, what you've
Alright.
given him, because we haven't seen it yet. And we'll
Yeah,
put
I
it-
just wanted to give you a heads up
and I
that
guess
that's
we
what
better
you're
put it
getting.
on the agenda for the next meeting.
Well, it is, I was just gonna say, I think this is
More
more
than
a
5 minutes.
heads up for us so we can look and
Right,
see what
that's
we're
all,
talking about.
that's all I wanted.
Because
didn't want
we
to do
really
a big
shouldn't, we shouldn't be
discussion
having a dog
Discussion
park
in 5
discussion.
minutes.
Right,
without-
no,
It's
you
gonna
don't
be
want
on the meeting of the 13th.
Right.
And there's other people who may want to come.
Okay.
and
Right,
talk
it's
here.
just
But that's
so
what
you
you were
know
doing.
what's in the packet and the reason why the pavilion is
I don't
back
think so.
on the table as far as we're concerned.
And another thing that, just very, very quickly, if we were to use that location that's on the south end of the runway, it does create issues for the RC Flyers, and they'd have to move further north, possibly, which was something that they had said that they would be willing to do.
Because they don't want to
But
get kicked out.
if we,
Well, they want to work together.
yeah,
Right.
so if.
Just like you do.
Right, so if we could use the space by the pavilion that we originally talked about, it avoids having a conflict with the RC Flyers.
Or
and-
putting the dogs too close to,
And no interest in the north end.
Well,
No.
no, she said that it would be very hard to get a permit there because there are two better spots.
Oh, I thought it wasn't wetland up at the north end.
No,
It
all
is.
that grass area is wetland. So, and yes,
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, there were a couple different things. The
We're-
north
let's-
end could work.
Let's push
where-
this
but
to
Yeah.
There's a lot more. There's 3 things on the meeting on the 13th. There are 3 acceptable locations that the person said you could go and.
Okay.
and put it.
Let's push. Let's
Yeah.
push
We,
to the
we
13th.
owe, we owe this discussion though, where
Right.
there's some other people
Right.
here
And
talking.
John's got. So I don't mean to brush off.
no, I got it, and that's not what we wanted was a discussion, it was
Okay.
just a lead-in so you know why you're getting the pavilion back in the packet.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
John, we really want to avoid conflict.
Why can't the town go up with a brush hog and help these people out and brush hog that part that needs to be mowed? And go back up with Joe Festus more and mow it some more and get it down so they can have what they need to clean up after the dogs and stuff and then put their fence up.
I think I think that's been talked about.
Because you can only mow 3
You
times
can't
a
do
year.
it, yeah. Let's,
Yeah, let's,
but we'll talk about it more next meeting.
we'll leave you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for doing all the work.
Appreciate the heads up.
These dogs can't wait.
And
to go
thanks
on
for the
I'm sorry I had to leave
information
that
about the
one.
project.
I don't have to call you.
Okay, where are we?
We're on
Department heads? Let's do an abbreviated department head.
Yeah, no, good, because there was not a lot. Police are,
Good?
still,
Sounds good.
police are good. Still patrolling downtown, doing a little bit of highway work. It's been, the chief doesn't like me to say it's quiet, but it's been quiet, so thank goodness. Yeah, I know. DPW, they did get that sewer project done on Prospect, rehab some manholes. Aaron's been spending a lot of time with the water department. The water turned over, and with the drought, it's making the plant act a little funny, so he's been working with some of our experts to figure out how to best get that plant. It's running well, and we're getting clean water. It's just not as running well as it could, so they're working on that. Sewer project's moving forward. They're hauling fill out of there. Still waiting for some equipment for the pump station projects. I think that's all I got for them. DPW, we did get a question about cleaning the pavilion. And I think the guys went and did that this morning. It was looking a little dusty.
Pavilion up there?
Pavilion
Oh,
down
here.
in the park.
The gazebo.
The gazebo, I'm sorry. Yeah, the gazebo. So they went and cleaned that up. Still patching manholes. Doing a little bit of hydrant work over here this morning. And we helped a guy, so they actually helped a guy. He wanted to buy tankers of water. So we ended up selling 10,000 gallons of water to a guy today.
Cool.
Yeah, he paid for our labor, for our DPW labor, and for the water. So it was a good water sale today.
How about line stripping?
Well, we were second on the list last week, so it should be coming. We were hoping to get it done this week. Probably looking like next. It's been an impossible thing to get done this year.
I don't see anyone with
I
questions.
have a question about the line striping. Where did you come up with the money to have it done outside? It wasn't in the budget.
So this was a project that the Board of Selectmen deemed very important. We're trying to do it a little better than just getting that paint, the paint cart out there.
That's not my question. The question is, where'd you get the money? There was nothing in the budget for it.
It came out of the budget.
DPW had
Yeah.
some savings and some line items.
I don't want to go out of order, but I wanted to allow everyone to speak. Can I do a brief public comment before carrying on?
Sure. Let me just finish this one, and then I didn't see your hand. Sorry. I wasn't ignoring you. Let's finish this one with these guys.
Like I said, I guess there was nothing put in the budget for it.
There was not.
So where are you skimping in the budget to find this money? How much money is it?
I asked that.
3,500.
I asked that question, and they said they had savings from
From where?
some other things.
If they got savings, they're not doing their jobs.
John.
Figure out one thing. What are we using for porta potties for the concerts?
You're gonna have to ask Fred.
Okay.
I mean, is there any plans like for taking the facility from the playground up there? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to go out of order.
No, you're fine.
My name is Joshua Ferguson for
Yep.
the new board member. I'm organizing the installation of the Vermont Veterans Tribute on the corner of Liberty Street and Main Street. And Benjamin Howard and I are advancing on the project. Him and I are holding 2 meetings next month in July with Vermont artists. And we've developed a storyboard. And later in July, we're going to present that design to the community. And it was designed by veterans, with veterans input in this town. And the target is still the same, Memorial Day 2022. But we've been making a lot of progress. I just want the public to know that.
Perfect.
I'll tell them it's on the side of the wooden soldier.
Yeah, it's on the corner of Liberty Street and Main Street, on the building that kept.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very nice.
That'll be nice.
Nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update.
Any other, your department heads, yeah, we're going back to you.
Okay, still
Somehow I
having,
forgot we weren't on finance.
So, I mean, you said you sold water.
Yep.
Can we, so we're delivering water. We delivered it?
No.
A guy came in with his tanker, he was filling swimming pools. He brought his tanker up to a fire hydrant, and our guy was there to open the hydrant, fill his truck, and close the hydrant, and then he went off and delivered.
Okay. And do we have a policy for doing that? And the policy including how much we charge? I mean, I don't want it. We do?
Oh, I don't know. Pool filling is something that has happened in the past. not since
Selling
I've
water.
been-
Selling water to tankers. I mean, how much did we charge? You say we covered our labor. What's that mean?
And so we covered the hourly rate of the gentleman standing at the fire hydrant, which was 2 hours at $19.56 an hour.
Yeah.
And then we also charged him the water rate, which is $6.77.
So you didn't make any money?
Well, we sold more water than we would have if we hadn't done this.
You didn't make any money?
How many gallons of water do you take?
10,500.
But what I'm saying is, you charge $18 for the, that's what the gentleman just paid with the town?
Yes.
Okay, so you lost money there because you didn't get your
Benefits.
the benefits included in it and everything else. So, I mean, you should have been just. well, if
It's
you
a
had-
good try.
I don't
think
have an
that's-
issue with selling
that's a
water,
step.
Joe.
It's
I
a
just
good
think we should
step.
have a policy that we agree to on,
You want to do it the same every time?
yeah, right, that's what it comes down to. Same every time, and I just want to be comfortable that we are covering all the costs, and if we make a buck, then we make a buck. I'd like to see it, let's make a buck, but I'd like it to come before the board as a policy, that this is how we're gonna do it. I don't have a problem doing it. I mean, like you said, we're selling water that we otherwise wouldn't have.
Seems like a good thing.
Right, it is a good thing. I don't wish to be negative on that. I just wish to be consistent
But
and know.
I was also wondering, couldn't we fill those up at the treatment plant? Like, couldn't the guy, like, rather than stand there for 2 hours, couldn't one of our guys that's already there?
It would take longer to fill it up there than it would down here.
So we filled it at a hydrant to say that we had lost money. It's
I'm not.
not to get into economics and sunk cost, but
I'm not-
his health insurance was sunk cost, so we're paying for it either way. We actually,
I'm not
we're going to breaking even.
really disputing that. I just,
Jeff?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The head
To fill it up at the.
if
so-
you have a guy standing there, working up there anyway, he could fill it and keep doing his stuff. You could get paid twice.
It would take longer to fill it up the water plant than it does down here. But there's a lot more pressure down here.
But he's there anyway.
90 pounds here and there's only 30 up there.
We can look into it.
I think we need to come back with the policy. You can
Yeah.
have all that.
Yeah, and also what the policy is, if he comes back tomorrow, just to argue a point, and says, hey, can I get another tanker truck? Are you gonna say, sure, I'll take one of my guys off of what they're doing and do that? I just,
That's
I think-
fair. Well, if he has time, if not,
I'd like
no.
a policy, so that it's consistent. That's all I'm, you know, it's
But I
more
don't
to
think
help
it's-
you.
But I don't think it's a bad idea to try to increase
try to make
water
it-
sales.
No,
Right, you know, I
am
understand what
not
you're trying to do.
being negative towards
We wanna be
the action.
We want to be consistent.
I want to be consistent and just, hey, if we make a buck, because these guys make a lot of money
Oh, yeah.
on a tanker truck.
You ought to check to see what other people charge these guys for loading tanker trucks. I mean, if you're gonna sell it here cheaper than everybody else, they're gonna be.
Right.
We're gonna get inundated if they're killing.
That's what went to my mind. We're going to be inundated with requests.
I think
Could
we
be.
should look at what the other people charge.
Right. Okay.
We can,
But for one,
I'll bring back some
I
information.
don't think you got burned too bad. Town manager report.
So we ordered the please limit the use of engine brake sign. I know that came up at the last meeting or the meeting before. That is not an ordinance, and we cannot limit engine brake use. It is a safety device, but we're asking nicely to please don't be noisy in our neighborhoods.
Are you gonna put it at every entrance?
I think we had one going on West, one up here, one over here on
Dutton, Capitol Hill.
Main and
West.
Fourth.
Washington and South Main and Prospect.
Sure.
And River.
And what's that other Academy? Is it Academy? Or is it the other one?
That one isn't bad. No,
Not bad?
You don't get much. It's more, if you want to put a sign up, no motorcycle noise, then that'd be all right. But the only time we get the engine brakes coming in.
I'm only trying to be fair to where we got comments
Yeah,
around
but
town.
I don't think you need them on,
Okay.
in the, like.
You want them on the outside?
Just coming into town, and it just, all it is to alert the people. Most of the truck drivers will
Pay attention.
You know, and, because you see it everywhere, a lot of towns now are everywhere. So, and there is one, matter of fact, there is a sign now up by Maplewood Inn. Because I think they might have put it up, I'm not sure.
They asked for us to put it up.
They did.
Didn't they? Or did they put it up?
I don't know about that one.
That's
To
right.
be honest, I drive by it every day, didn't notice it.
Maybe put it up.
Just before you get to the driveway to go up the woods place up there, so. But if you just get them in the town big enough.
They came to the board.
Get them big enough so they can see them. That's all.
Okay. Finish up.
Okay, Mechanic Street, like John mentioned, cleaned up mostly. I don't know about the interior, but he did say he
It
was
is
gutting
clean from attic to cellar.
attic.
Okay.
Grand list numbers came in. We were hoping to get the tax rate set tonight, but the state did not get us information. The school rate information, we're going to have a special meeting sometime between now and July 10th, when that information comes.
That's the deadline.
July 10th is when they got to go out.
They did that to us
Joe, I
last
have
year.
a question I forgot to ask. Did you get any complaints about rodents running around town from that? You know,
No rules.
I saw him hitchhiking up at 22.
I don't worry about him.
Keep-
I'll let him go. Was he going north or?
Let's keep moving.
Come on.
That it?
Keep going.
Joe, Steph?
That's all I got.
Perfect. So that's all Joe. So we're on to old business. There's no old business. Let's do the letter of support for the bridge grant, which I assume is Adam Street.
Adam Street Bridge, yes. This is a letter to, and I'm going to butcher his name, Secretary Buttigieg?
Buttigieg?
Buttigieg. Yeah.
Buttigieg.
This is your support letter saying, please give us $1.3 million for a bridge.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we sign the letter of support to Secretary Buttigieg for the Adams Street Bridge. I massacred his name.
Project. Okay. Second?
Second it.
Motion by Glenn, seconded by Carol, for a letter of support for the Adams Street Bridge project. Any other discussion?
He wrote the letter
I wrote-
supporting it, or you wrote the letter
I
to
went
him?
to
Okay.
The board is sending a letter asking for monetary support.
Request for support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Mr. Leahy and Mr. Sanders said they'll also supply letters of support for this.
Good. Fingers crossed.
Can we, the future planning and policy review scheduling, do you want to table that to the next meeting and just when we've got full board? Because it's just planning a date, right?
No, no, I'm gonna start dropping stuff in there. Our policies are, like Rod was saying, things need to be set and things need to be adjusted in our policies.
So you're gonna just start dropping one in every?
I'm gonna bring a policy to the board, say, can you review this for the next meeting, make changes or not, and then just kind of cycle through everything. We need to do a better
So
job
every
staying up to
meeting,
date.
every meeting there'll be a new policy on here.
Yeah, if, hopefully.
Yeah.
So you're,
You know.
Depending on
Well-
the complexity of the policy.
but you're gonna give us a policy and then we'll have a week
Yes.
to do it and then,
Yep.
okay,
Just
perfect.
input.
And then in your packets, there was some economic development information, a packet from, I think, the EPA, for the board to think about. If you read through it, it's a great policy, great guide for economic development.
I'm gonna start with that one.
Yeah, it's sometimes I feel like I'm like grabbing you guys and like, let's go this way.
It's okay.
And it is, but I don't know.
We just might not go.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd just like to have a conversation around economic development and policies.
Okay.
But that was all.
Liquor.
All right, so liquor license, yeah.
So this is a first, second, and third class liquor license for Global Montello Group Incorporated.
Where are they?
Who is it?
786 Route 22A. It's one of the gas stations up there. It's changing.
786, that would be, Max.
Oh, is that the new owner?
It's the new owner, yeah. I don't know which gas station it is.
Max sold, so.
Okay.
So they had to do a new license probably.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion that we grant the, do we have to do them individually? First, second, third class licenses?
It's all on one piece of paper.
No, I
It's
think
all
you
one,
can do that.
okay. So the first, second, and third class liquor license to Global Montello Group Corporation, formerly the Jiffy Mart.
Why is it that, well,
It was
go ahead. So, motion by Glenn. Do we have a second?
Okay, sorry,
Do we have a second on the?
yes, I'll second it. I forgot what was it.
Do I
I
ask
gotta
a
get out my
question?
APA
Now it's-
spelling
now it's
and all
over.
that.
How can that be Jiffy Mart?
We had a motion by Glenn, seconded by Carol, to approve this liquor license, first, second, and third class. Any discussion? John, pertaining to this?
Is it, are you sure this is the Sitco?
No.
It says, the application says, they're doing business as Jiffy Mart number 680.
Yeah, so I think it's, I think it's Max, but my question was gonna be, do they need first, second, and third?
And that's what they,
That's what they've requested.
that's what they've requested.
Are we allowing serving
You can't
there?
serve.
I didn't think we could serve there, so which one was that?
I
They're
don't-
not a restaurant, so,
they're
Let
not-
me,
or maybe they're
well, let
gonna,
me come back, and the one I'm reading,
Well, they have a table there.
maybe they will be.
Yeah.
I have an application, the application that I'm reading from says they want a second class
Yeah, I think this is a second class.
license, is what I'm reading here.
Can we amend the motion to be?
Sure.
second
Let me
class?
amend that motion. I'll make a motion that we grant Global Montello Group Corporation, formerly Jiffy Mart, a second-class liquor license.
Are you okay to amend your
Yes, I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
All opposed? Oh, perfect. Motion carries. Butchered that one.
Did great.
Water sewer budget review.
So that they're not getting it first and third then.
Just a second.
And if they need it, they can come back. I just want to make sure that we do it right. Thanks, guys.
That's all we check.
This is what, it's like this for a second, it's like, okay, she seemed to.
Joe,
Joe.
this letter, do you think you should request Chris's signature? Because right now it looks like a 4-1.
Yeah,
Someone abstained or someone wasn't in agreement with it. So I think it would
behoove us.
it would behoove us to have 5.
Did I miss that? Somebody abstained or?
No.
No, Chris isn't here.
He'll be
Oh,
back
I see.
Friday
Okay.
night.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so where are we on water sewer?
Water sewer budget.
Let me pull up my information.
Are you going?
And that was from the special, the information we used from the special meeting?
So the board requested that we go back and take a look at supplementing the capital improvement line items for the sewer budget, and I did the water budget as well. We requested information from our department heads where they would like to see additional line items, more money added to line items, and we have that as well tonight. So with
There's your liquor.
thank you. If we could take a look at the packet that looks like this, it just says current on top.
We're gonna.
This is our options for the sewer budget, adding different amounts to the capital improvement account.
I need a second to catch up. I have too many packets sitting here. Sorry.
And we are working off the information that we had for the special meeting that we didn't have the form?
Yes, information has not changed.
Right.
Okay, that's,
That's why.
It's another packet.
It's in a
Yeah.
different, it's in a different.
I
packet.
brought it, I just,
Me too.
You're looking at the page marked current?
Yep.
Yes. There's one that says current, and then I think there's one that says water current.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so the one that just says current, this is our sewer budget. You see the highlighted capital improvement, that's where we're at now with 10,000 added. The next page is an additional 10,000 added to that. Page 3 is $20,000 added to that line, and then so on. Page 4 will show you a $43 base rate.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, this shows the increase in your base rate. So the $43 base rate is what,
This is just on sewer.
this is just sewer we're gonna deal with first, because water's a whole different ball of wax. So $43 base rate was what was estimated to pay off the sewer bond, right? So this is what we told people the base rate would go to if the bond passed.
Okay.
Okay, and then the next page, the 73,000, that's the other half of the bond payment.
What does that mean?
So we have almost 73,000 sitting in payment in our tax budget, in our 010 budget. We need another 73,000 to complete the second half of that bond payment. Half of the bond payment is 010.
No,
half
I
is-
understand.
So this is what it looks like when you add $73,000 to your sewer budget.
I thought you told me that was accounted for in the budget you already gave us.
It is. I was told to bring options to make it fair. So to make it fair, this is the additional 73,000. This is fair to the taxpayers as well as to the rate users.
Yeah, and when I looked at all these options right here, you know how there's, in order to make the payment, there's $73,000 that all of us as taxpayers, including the users, are paying. And that increase, what is that increase in the taxes, the fuel for everybody, what was that increase roughly for a person's taxes, for an average person's taxes?
So the average person saw an annual payment in their
What's the average?
on a $200,000 home.
Right.
Because I have to set some kind of standard. $200,000 home, you'll see an annual payment in your taxes of $79.40.
Oh, it is $80. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what you're,
About $80.
yeah, annually.
So $20 a quarter.
Yes, $20 a quarter.
So what? That's what you're getting at, right?
Right. I'm just trying to go apples and apples and say, okay, if, because when I looked at the comparisons,
To your regular
I think it's significantly more to put 73,000 right there.
that would be me.
if you have a
That's
$200,000.
what your cost is almost
Well,
$80.
it's never quite
I
going to be
know.
apples to
say,
apples. you
say,
know?
Yeah.
right, I mean, understanding Fairhaven and how we, that's,
It's hard to
right,
write
I guess-
this up. That makes
Okay,
sense.
so I appreciate this. I think this is exactly what we wanted.
now,
What
there's-
did the department heads say for places where they think they may have overcut? Or are they happy with where the budget was?
No, so water was fine. I got no increases on those folks. Sewer came back with an additional $29,000 request. I'm still, nobody asked, but I'll put in my opinion,
29?
29,000. So some of that was other purchase services, which is repairs or, technical assistance. Repairs and maintenance, $2,500. Machinery and equipment, $2,500. All of this money, if you're adding money to your capital improvement budget, if something bad happens, you'll be able to take it out of there.
You'll be able to take it.
But we're building a new plant, so
Yeah, but this budget is not including the new plant in operation.
it doesn't. But what we're doing is we're swapping things out as we go, right? We're adding new pieces.
I don't know that.
So I
Well,
wasn't-
as far as
That's
I
what
know,
we're
it's 2022, it's coming online.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, my intent was not to give everybody a blank check. I just wanted to know where we may have shorted in a realistic way, and I think we've seen that now.
It sounds to me $5,000.
Yeah, so
Well-
I guess if you,
Can I finish?
go ahead.
Sorry. So 29,000 was the additional request. This year, we're almost at the end of the fiscal year. Sewer was under budget by almost 45,000.
Right.
So there's still, even if we are, undercutting the budget, you were $45,000 in the plus this year. So that buffer would cover this.
So I guess it kind of shows me that why don't we put, 10 to 20,000 into the capital reserves, and we're probably pretty close.
Right.
Okay.
Are you hate that?
I'm confused. No, I don't hate it. I'm just confused.
I don't like that number. I don't think that's a fair.
Adding $73,000?
Because you're not taking it out somewhere else.
Because we're gonna, if we do that, my feeling is sewer
Go
would
ahead.
come in. They haven't got a budget high enough to spend on
Wait a minute, but this was all laid out on the table, okay, during the bond vote. Okay, so I don't understand why we are not putting $73,000, because that's what was done on the tax side, the 010 side. Why aren't we putting $73,000 and saying that is what it is? There is, because right now it seems like we're kludging, we're mixing and matching, and okay, well we'll take part of the 73 out of some budget savings. It's hard to keep track of anything. $73,000, that's the bond, period. Now, what is the best we can do on the budget? That's my way of looking at it. You cannot,
the other way.
because there's different boards every year, different opinions every year, and we always lose track of what we said. and
Then
what we agreed to.
Joe's budget is on. Stick with it.
Okay,
All
I'm
my
saying
budget
is,
is on.
That's what Joe did.
Yes, we do.
Joe
we put-
found 80,000 in the budget in savings, and he covered the other costs. And this is my fault. I said,
But-
that seems pretty
but
tough.
wait a minute, no, but what we said was he was taking the future away.
He did. He cut all of the
Okay.
capital reserves.
No, yeah, but that's,
You're
we've
saying
never,
that's not
yeah, that's
budget.
that's not viable.
Okay.
I'm saying put some of that money back.
Okay.
I think we're all saying the same thing.
Yeah, I think we are, but I just wanted to make sure that
You wanna say it
there's
the right
three
way?
well, there's two pots. There's 73,000 and there's the budget. The budget includes the future,
Okay.
okay? The way it always has.
And it's kind of semantics, but
You can, yeah.
It's cleaner.
It's cleaner.
You want capital. You want, bond.
I want to see a
payment
bond
be
payment, period. That's what we all agreed to, but not Ray and
But you've got that in there.
Chris, but,
Not me. I see what you just did.
but.
That's you guys.
I just want to make sure,
Actually,
when I
the
think water and
photos.
sewer, I think this is what it costs to run and supply everything. I'm not looking for water and sewer to make money at the end of the day. The reason we do these rates and everything is so we can pay the bills, right?
And that's it.
And what I heard when I saw the current numbers was, we can pay the bills, but understand we took quite a bit out of capital improvement. And so where my concern was twofold. I'm saying I'd feel a little more comfortable because our new plan isn't online yet or anything.
Right.
I'd feel a little more comfortable if we put some more money into capital improvement. I'd also feel better. I don't believe the full 73,000 again on top of what all of us as taxpayers are paying.
Which is what he's saying.
Right. I think that's that's pretty steep.
You're saying don't put 73,000 completely back into capital improvement.
Right. I'm
Which would
saying
be
that
an
what I
increase,
want
probably like 20 or 40.
under sewer, when I looked at that, I looked at what we normally did, and I went back and ran the numbers and what we cut it back from, because that's really what.
So what came out of water and what came out of sewer capital improvement in your budgeting process?
So sewer is where we're we're discussing right now. To 15,000 was cut from sewer. So if you added that back, it would be capital budget of 25,000. That highlighted number would be 25,000.
Budget, you said?
Capital improvement line.
Capital improvement, yeah.
Right.
But didn't you take some out of water too?
Yes.
Separate.
But he wants to talk about
We'll
if
do
we
that
start jumping back
discussion.
and forth, you forget where you're going.
Because then when you add the two together, they might come back. You can't, that's why you don't do it all in one play. But, my only concern when I looked at what we did for the capital reserve, it looked like for a while we were putting 40,000 a year in, then we went 25,000. And all we did is we took 15,000, it looks like, out of that. And so I'd start with saying, I kind of would like capital improvement to be at least putting 15,000 back there.
This one. I think we have been shorting capital improvement. That's why we are in the mess that we're in. I'm not talking about we over the last decades.
Agreed.
Generations.
Okay,
so I think it should be more than 15.
Yeah, I do too.
It has been up to 40. Back in 1819, yeah.
Okay, I mean, to ease into it, we can split the difference.
So sewer.
But we got to get back up to a viable number and maintain it so that we don't find ourselves in this pickle all the time.
30 years from now, we've got some money and we don't have to go ask the taxpayers for.
Which was what I was getting
$3
at
million.
when we started this whole conversation.
Right.
So that's good.
If we brought that back to what the sheet originally showed, that 40,000, when I looked back at the sewer sheet, before even the 25 that we dropped down to, it was 40,000. It brings the sewer base rate up to 25, from $16.30 to $25. Now that's about 30, or, right, it's the plus 30,000 to where you are is the page I'm looking at.
Yep.
And I'm going, I feel that it is close to fitting the bill when we said, hey, look, if the 1% option tax doesn't go through, there's going to be tax increase and the ratepayers are going to be paying more. It's not 73,000, but understand the ratepayers are paying part of that tax increase as well as that one there. So I think adding 30,000 to capital improvement.
I thought you just said 40. Gets you to 25.
Well, it gets me up to 40. There's 10 already there, so you're going to add 30 to it on the plus 30 page of the.
Oh, okay. We're talking the same thing. It's the $40,000 number.
And it comes up to the 40 that it was there. I'm going, that one right there, I feel like, and that's still everyone's going to see it when their water and sewer bill. We're going to feel it. But again, we're taking care of the future. If there's something changes and we find that we're getting more money than we need to operate water and sewer because we're that effective and everything, then fine. I'm willing to look at, do you go the other way versus it's easier to go back than it is to raise again next year.
But it covers some of those unanticipated pump station repairs and things like that.
That add up. Your reductions should be purely based upon operating costs.
Exactly.
Not reducing the $73,000, the bond payment. That's why you got to keep it separate. And we got to maintain.
And our sewer plant that we're upgrading right now,
so it
isn't a complete upgrade. There's things that didn't get.
So you're saying don't nickel and dime this 40,000 for every repair, either. Save some of that for. Like Joe's saying, well, if we put the 40,000 in and we have some repairs that are like $5,000, we've got a place to go to get it.
I don't
you're
agree
saying
with
get it
that.
out of the budget.
I'm saying the budget should cover everything that you can reasonably estimate a year and a half in advance.
Which
you do not take out. See, the 25.
Which Joe thinks he's done in his budget, correct?
No, they asked for 25 and 25 for.
No, that's different than Joe's presented budget, though. When Joe presented it,
I know, but they asked for more.
They did.
They made an adjustment up because they said, well, I think we cut too deeply in these two categories. And I think for the following year, I know Joe is saying that we're gonna get some benefit as we bring the plant online, but I think Murphy's Law is gonna kick in more often than not, and until 2022, we ought to just, when the plant comes online, we just assume that we're not gonna get anything.
Right.
And if we get a little bit of benefit, we're not talking about big dollars.
So what?
But the $5,000, in my head, I added up quickly as you were talking, Joe. There were two line items for $2,500.
Yep.
One was equipment
and repairs.
And repairs.
Yep.
Yeah, those kinds of things, I think we shortchanged too tight.
Okay, so the proposal on the floor is add 5,000 back into those two line items and 30,000.
Well, for discussion.
For discussion.
Yeah.
So I would agree.
Where do we land out on those?
So what but coming $45,000 under budget this year, I can't honestly expect to be, spend an additional $45,000 next year plus the 5,000 that we're saying that we're, cutting too deep. I feel like it would be taking money that's just not.
We gave you monies out of the capital reserves so that you didn't have to tap your budget because you weren't sure where you were going to be throughout during the year. He probably doesn't have that off the top of his head.
The only thing that came out of the capital improvement budget was or capital improvement savings was the pump stations. And that was
pump stations and the generator.
$40,000, I think, total, plus a loan to cover the rest.
Okay, but now what you're saying is more of that could have come right out of the budget instead of giving you out of emergency reserves. But again, it goes back to having new pump stations and a new plant coming online. $5,000 is not going to break the bank. I don't want to take taxpayer money if you know what I mean. I totally agree with you on the 22,000. That was I forget what that category was, but I dismissed that. But the two items that we hit a lot are those repairs, and I think we still have repairs to do in this budget year.
You're going to run into some things where they say, hey, we're replacing all these other things in the plant, and we didn't talk about this pump, but we think we should do it.
Right.
$5,000.
We're doing a good job.
Let's just do it. And we'd be able to if you go with that. But
let's see what it looked like. 63.
I just think those two line items we hit hard.
Okay, so repair and maintenance only spent 55% of their budget last year. There's still a remaining.
Current year, you mean?
Current, what's sitting there now.
Okay.
So there's $4,500 under budget for that one, and I didn't look at this, I'm sorry.
that's all right.
Yeah, this is my first time I've taken a look. 68, and then machinery and equipment, 6390. 83 is at $6,000 under budget. Only spent 38% of that budget.
Okay, then one could ask, why did they ask for it?
And that's, they do a great job down there, and I'm not trying to take anything away, but I just.
But it is a year and a half ahead of time.
Yep.
It's hard. I understand that.
It is.
I'm okay. I mean, hindsight's 2020. Yeah. Next year, I guarantee, is not going to be the same as this year.
Well, forget the budget. What's everybody comfortable with in the reserve, in the capital improvement fund?
Capital improvement. What do you do?
I'm good with 40.
You're all good with 40?
Carolyn?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Actually, I'd like to see it bigger than that, but reasonably
The sticker
speaking.
shock would be.
I'm not worried about that. The sticker shock when we have to buy a new plant is even worse.
We just we're going through.
But we got to walk into it instead of run into it headlong. I get that. So 40 is a good.
Okay.
Did you mean add 40 or get it to 40?
Add 30 to get to 40.
Yes,
Under capital.
get it to 40.
I can.
It makes a difference.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
And where's everybody on the budget additions that they requested? The 5,000 in additional funds, purchase services and repair and maintenance. Anybody got any?
It's a soft item for me. I think someone's gonna say, I told you so.
It doesn't matter what the decision is, though.
On those two items, they ran over budget?
No, they're under budget.
Then
Let's go.
I'm not ready to give them more money. I want them to do a better job of budget.
Well, yeah, but Glenn, the point that I'm trying to make is we're into the final stages of this equipment, which we still have to maintain
For another year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what they're saying is, we think there's going to be a crash.
Right, we thought it was going to fail. It didn't fail. It's going to fail this year.
How much of your 45,000 was in labor savings?
What, $45,000?
Was any of it labor? Didn't we have some?
Understand the question.
For what?
The saving you have, what you didn't use this year.
You mean the new budget where that money came from? It was labor. It was contractors.
So it has nothing to do with
contractors.
Yeah, we had Mr. Laramie was our contractor, so he could run the plant. So
Cost
he's
training while
so
we're
he's no
carry
longer
out
there.
speed,
So
get the
it was a huge savings.
Okay.
It was all labor, a lot of labor.
So I'm saying it's not real money.
Well, no,
it's real money, but it's not. It's not.
It's not going to happen again.
It's not. It's a one-time deal.
Right.
It's not like a pump that you didn't fix.
That means that that means we overran in other areas. If it's a one-time thing,
means you were really close in other areas, right?
The two items that that the 5,000 was going to cover, they were low. So something else had to be high if we were pretty much right on.
Sure, we were pretty close. We ran. We were at 90% spent overall budget. Look, our biosolids, pumping out. We actually cut that last year, and that was the I told you so moment because we cut a bunch out of last year.
We've also got new management down there with Peter being completely gone. You may see a little more cost.
So what are your feelings about that?
What's your gut?
For the
that they've requested.
I'm not recommending it. I feel like we got $45,000 underspent. The lines, which I just for the first time looked at.
We just discussed where that came from. That was mostly a one-time thing. Peter Laramie savings, right?
The 45.
The 45.
Oh no! I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question.
Okay.
The difference between last year's budget and this year's budget came down significantly.
Yeah.
Okay. That was due to labor.
That was due to labor.
That's okay.
Okay.
I had a tough time following that.
I didn't understand the question.
Okay.
So let's see where we were under.
I thought you had some employee turnover and people that weren't in positions for a while.
I know a lot.
So you got like
The what ifs, but
It's the what ifs in the last year of operation.
yeah.
Before the plant, and these pumps are expensive. I think they anticipated the pumps failing the year that we're just coming out of,
They did.
and
Peter
I
had
think
some
they're
stuff
gonna.
in there.
I think they're gonna fail.
Potentially.
Yeah.
You're betting that way.
That's what I'm betting on.
And
that
if they
it's
do
going to fail.
can't they reach in the capital improvement?
Yeah, but that's not the purpose of it.
No, but I'm saying, it's not like I don't, there's a safety net.
right.
It's not, I'm not on a high wire with no safety net. There's a safety net here. We just put a pretty good safety net in.
it's short money either way. It's going to impact in pennies.
Right.
It's a little bit of money we're agonizing over.
Yeah,
But if-
it's
but
of
if
all the
you're-
things to talk about so much.
That's how these budgets go. Though.
Yeah. So let me add 5,000 to the budget just to see what that looks like in terms of 48.
Spend, give it to them and spend it.
I also get the sense that, Joe, you did a great job of really getting them to cut.
Oh man.
Okay, and you beat them up. Beat them up is probably the wrong word.
That's right.
But I think they did.
Yeah. Okay. So you beat them up pretty good. This is a little stipend to come back and say, if you really think we need it, we're not going to give you the 22, but we'll give you the 5.
Yeah.
So that will add 14 cents to the user rate. It will come to $13.62.
Understanding that is
Huge.
we have our water and sewer rates are already
But we're
huge.
We're what,
And
1348?
and even though everyone's saying 5,000 is short money, no, we already, for what you pay for sewer, that instead of 1348, you're gonna add another, how many cents?
14 cents
14 cents?
per 1,000 gallons.
The $5,000 is only going on this, whereas the 30 went on down here. Is that the math you're doing? Okay.
I'm doing the math. The only thing that went up is they went up from 1630 to 25 for the sewer base rate.
On the 30, on the additional 30 in the capital improvement, and then the to the 48 to 62, that's just the 5,000.
We already had,
that's
we
what I-
already had a sewer increase with the budget that sits on current. This is an increase of what, 6, 8 cents?
It
How many?
is,
I'm fine with dropping
A 6 cent
Six,
increase.
it's already
There was
6
already a
cents.
6 cents, and you want to give them 5,000 because we think that maybe they might need it, and raise another. I don't think so. I don't support that. No, I'm just saying, we already, for the folks that are paying, I pay.
I'm the impartial chair with no opinion. It's okay.
I can tell you, I
Nice,
have a
good
dog in
move.
the fight. I pay the water and sewer. We have some people that don't pay the sewer, and others that don't pay either one, sitting back there. I'm
Oh,
saying.
no, that
everyone
pays now.
Well, a little bit on the tax, and I'm fine with that. But,
No,
I think there's,
He's the only one impacted.
well, I can tell you,
No, I think
I can tell you everyone I
Water.
talk to when they get their first
On the
water,
usage.
when they get their first water and sewer bill, you better be ready for more delinquent water and sewer bills,
yeah.
Because you're
Right,
already
Glenn, I
can't
think
afford
you've
it.
persuaded me
But
to go
I'm,
along with
on the 5.
yeah,
right.
Am I taking the 5 out?
Taking the 5.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Rod feels that way.
No, but that's okay. Just gives me an opportunity to say, I told you so.
I told you.
Yeah, right.
And then I'll
I
sit
warned
back
you
and
about
say,
that
yeah,
pump.
Take
yeah,
notes.
yeah,
Well, I
told
feel
you so.
better with some capital improvement money in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's,
That's not what it's for.
that's not what it's for, that's all.
Okay, so we're back to 1348.
End of discussion.
Oh, I doubt that, but.
Okay, so let's put that one to the side and tell,
Okay,
except Joe wants this approved.
Oh, yeah, this
We
needs to be
need-
approved. You got
we
one
need to
egg.
approve- we need
I
to
told
approve
you
this
so is our
now.
additional conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Tell me about water now.
yeah, let's talk about water. Also, should have been with, it says water current is the front page on that, and this is the same deal as,
Well, we're only talking about capital improvement in this one because they didn't have any changes.
I got no changes, come back with budget on that one.
Beautiful.
That one wasn't as,
You didn't pare it back as hard.
oh no, I pared back everything hard.
Okay.
But, it was, that one's pretty clean. So, and then, okay, so this one, again, plus 10,000, page 3 is plus 20,000, and then page 4 is plus 30,000.
How much did we pull out of the capital?
45,000, right?
Yep. Let me look.
Pulled 45 out?
Yeah, it was 40 coming out through, but then 2021 had 55,000, and we're dropping it down to 10 on the current you're looking at, so it's 45,000. Let's pull out, am I looking at the right,
Water and sewer, okay, water capital improvement, yeah, yes, it was 55,000, cut it back to 10,000. Yeah,
so,
and that was the hard cut on that one.
That's basically what you cut out of that budget, right?
There were other reductions, but nothing as hard as that one.
Well, let's
Like water lines was reduced by $1,000.
let's start with trying to put half of that back. Where's that put us?
put 20. 7, changing the water rate to 724.
Where are people on 724? Understanding that's like 75 cents or something. 50 cents.
I can tell
50
you,
cents.
as a person who pays it, I don't like the idea it's going up, but we have, when I looked at what we have for capital reserve and knowing that we got a problem with leaking around the tube out there, we gotta put money back in capital improvement. That's the next place that's gonna bite us is water. So I think putting 20 back in and bringing the capital improvement up to 30.
You want to
That's
bring it
what
up to,
It looks like
to 30,
It
yeah.
looks like capital improvement, I bring that, it
What's
sits
in
at
that
10
fund?
now, you're putting 20 more in it.
What is actually in the capital fund today.
Water had a little bit more.
Not nearly enough.
Not enough.
Not enough,
But I
no.
just-
It was,
200,000.
And another 10,000 won't make it a big difference, other than the fact that we're doing as much as we can.
So water capital improvement is at 262,000.
Plus 30.
Plus
The
30.
last page.
That's where you
The
want to be.
last page. Good, bringing it up to 40.
750.
So-
So
750.
75 cents. 78 cents.
Well, it's, yeah, 750.
and I could easily be there.
With the problems that we know, we have to do as much as we can.
That's the next one, we're gonna be asking big money somewhere, and we don't have the big money sitting anywhere to pay for.
Not even to back it up.
No.
Not even to match it.
That's the one that we're,
Like you, at the sewer plant, you at least had some match money.
There was, like right now, it's still there, 300-something thousand.
And we're still taking the 10,000, or 10-ish.
Okay. So where are people on a rate of 750 and 3850? Is everybody?
So capital improvement should be a $30,000 total?
no, I know they
40.
clustered, we're gonna go to
Oh,
40.
40.
I think they went to your last one.
750 is your
Okay.
Is gonna be the approved user
use
rate.
rate.
Okay, got it.
Justification for that is the
Leaky
Is the
water
tunnel.
pipe.
Well, we don't know with that tunnel when it could last 10 years.
It's not,
Well, and
it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
when. And any other thing that could go wrong in a 50,
Yeah.
60-year-old plant.
So what are you adding to this capital here?
30,000.
For a total of 40.
And we aren't really adding, we're just
putting it
not
back.
taking
Yeah,
it
we're
out.
not
We're not
taking
taking it
out.
out, it was what was cut, and we're still.
Right, we're putting back in.
It was 55. was
It's
what
going
was
to be
being
lengthy
proposed, so-
discussion.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
But yeah, I agree, that's where it has to be.
Okay, so with that,
Joe, you didn't get enough for that water you sold.
no, I need to sell more water. I've had a lot of requests for tanker trucks this year. He was just the first one to take it.
You know what? Because it's too cheap. Compare it to other people.
Oh.
One of those tanker trucks, $750 to fill the pool.
No kidding.
That's what they get.
I thought, we have the sucker truck. We should fill that sucker up and start dumping
Fill the pools.
just
Shouldn't
sewage
compete.
suck truck.
Don't compete with private. With the sewage sector. Yeah, that seems like a great idea.
It'll be
Okay,
cleaning service.
Yeah.
Let's move
So
this
we're,
on.
yep, so we're in water.
So do you need?
So right now, you have, and I'm gonna have to print the sheet out to sign, but right now you have a water use rate of $750, and a water base rate of $38.50, a sewer use rate of $13.48, and a sewer base rate of $25.
$25.
Yeah.
That's what I,
And what was? Yeah. And that's pretty close to what it, or less than what it was billed at with
it's, right, it's.
It's less than what it was.
It's less than, because it could easily.
with the
have
1%.
been- Yeah, right, it could easily have been $38 to $43.
$38.
Understand?
I mean, it's still huge. $10.
It's still gonna be painful, and I'm not saying we wouldn't be sitting here in a few years, once we see how everything balances out.
Well,
But-
we may even. Yeah.
But I would like to see, and if it's not already in there, I didn't remember seeing it, but a bond payment of $73,000 in the budget, a line item, bond payment.
That it comes out of that.
Yeah, it's in debt services, so it's kind of hidden with the other things, but yeah, it would be nice to have that broken out.
Okay, well, I'm sure Jenny has it broken out.
It would be nice to see it, I agree with that.
Let's just add one in. Let's
Yeah,
have
she
that
can-
added in.
I'm sure it's broken out in her Nemrick, but
It's mainly when it hits the book, so that everybody can see.
So what do you need? You need a motion to accept the new rates?
Yep, I would need a motion from the board to
Well,
accept.
we need to approve the budget first, and then set the rate.
Yes.
Okay, so
Have they done
we'll
that?
start,
Is that how we do it?
I think usually we would set the rates later on, but you're close together now,
Okay.
right? When we set the rates
Sometimes
later?
we've started talking in
We usually set the
May,
rates later.
And.
Because we're backed up, we get backed up on the rates. Usually the budget's approved by now.
Right, so I think everything, you need a budget first, though.
Yes.
Okay.
We do need the
Okay,
budget.
so I'll make a motion to accept the water and sewer budget for the upcoming 21,
Name the
22
numbers.
year.
Do you have a number, a total number?
Yes, you ready?
Yep.
Total expenses for water are $441,222. Oh,
Okay.
that can't be right.
It is, because you added 30,000, right?
41. Oh, yes, that is right. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's your water budget.
So I'll make a motion to accept the water budget of $441,222.
Second it.
Motion made, is this the water budget or?
Water,
Water.
Okay.
just water.
Motion made by Glenn, seconded by Carol to approve the water budget as presented. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Is this the other one I'm
That's
looking
the sewer
for?
rate.
I'll make a motion to accept the sewer budget of $576,671.
Do we have a second?
Second it.
Motion made by Glenn, seconded by Carol to approve the sewer budget. Any discussion? And this is all fiscal year
21, 22, right?
21,
21, July 1, 21 to July 1, 22.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So we have a water and sewer budget now,
Want to set the rates?
or do you need to bring
Two
that
different
to another
motions.
meeting?
So if the board approves the rates, after the meeting, I'll print the sheet and then you can sign it. I just need the approval from the board.
Do we do them two different motions,
Didn't
water
need to
and
be
sewer?
warned separately or anything?
Or can I do it?
I
Yeah,
think
well-
you can set the water sewer rates. In
I can,
one.
in one? I'll make a motion to set the water and sewer rates. The water rate at $7.50. The sewer rate at $13.48. The water
Is
base,
that
Per thousand.
usage?
Yep, usage rate
this
per
is the
thousand.
use rate first,
Okay.
per thousand.
Now the base?
And the water base rate of $38.50 and the sewer base rate of $25.
I'll second
this
it.
meeting.
Is that what we're doing? Yes.
Yes.
Motion by Glenn, seconded by Carol to approve the rates as presented. Is there any discussion? And that allocates the entire bond payment to the sewer base, other than what went to the tax base. The way that that's done.
I don't know if
There's $73,000.
The 1630
for
to
the second half of
25
the
represents bond payment.
No. No, that's what I'm saying. With what you said,
From
it
that
does.
to that, right? Approves.
Because
Well,
part
no.
of the bond payment is in through general taxes, right? No, that wouldn't be a true statement.
Okay.
The only
Your
true
bond-
statement, go ahead.
I would say the bond, so half of the bond payment is in the sewer budget. The other half is out of your property
It's out of
taxes.
property tax.
So when people ask, where did it go? Did it go onto my sewer base rate or did it go into the usage rate? Usage rate didn't change.
Well, the base rate for sewer changed, but the use rate for water also changed. Those were the two changes from a year ago. When they get their bills this year,
See,
they're also gonna see
I think with the cutting that you guys did, you took some of that bond out of the usage side,
And put it on.
technically,
yes.
in the line items that you picked,
Yes.
okay, and didn't transfer it to the base rate.
Yes,
That's true. That's a true statement.
that is true.
We did.
yeah. 'Cause what happened was we found savings and then we just
put it all on.
And
Yeah, we just put it into.
Just, I guess what I'm saying is we need to be ready to explain that.
Right, because had 73,000 been taken out of base rate for sewer, base rate would have gone up to $43 versus $25. It all comes back to when the 1% option tax
I guess
didn't
I'm
go
wondering,
in,
should this be,
all of these rates were gonna go up.
I'm wondering if it would be more palatable though if it was like 20 and 15. I'm making up numbers, but you don't think it matters where it is. Okay. It is what it is.
It is.
It is what it is.
I'll make.
Hard to explain,
Painful.
but it is what it is.
Do you, that's all I'm asking. Do you want to rethink how?
I think if anybody, what I will say if anybody asks me is that, yeah, half of your payment, half of the bond payment comes out of your sewer budget.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Whether it's.
is the short answer, and if they're up in arms on water and sewer, I'm saying, then folks, at some point, if you ever get an opportunity to look at a 1% option tax for infrastructure, you might want to consider it. But I mean, I don't know anything other than that. This was to be expected.
Yes.
I've been approached about the 1% a couple of times just this week and last.
And so, but I mean,
Okay. Any other discussion? Rod?
Not for this time.
Oh, good.
Carol's kicking me under the table.
He's keeping a little notepad in his pocket.
Yeah, he is. All in favor, say aye.
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 Nice job, guys.
Did you say aye?
They approved the water and sewer budget. and the rates.
we approved the water and sewer base rates.
You're surprising me.
Okay, so we can put this one away and we can move on to parking lot. Is that where we are? I lost my agenda here.
Yeah, you're at parking lot.
Yep. Anybody got any changes in there?
Parking lot downtown? No.
No.
Kidding.
I think we moved along.
I need a gavel.
You got one right there.
I was gonna say, didn't we have?
Best if I don't. Okay, parking lot, nothing? Nobody's got anything to... board roundtable.
Pass.
I heard through the grapevine that we're losing our town clerk due to retirement.
Town clerk said she'll be retiring on Thursday. I'm not sure how this works, because she said she's gonna retire
Mid-season.
mid-season before the election, and she's gonna be gone for about a month, but then she's coming back. She's working with the state to figure this out. Honestly, I have no idea how this works.
You don't have any influence over that at all.
I have no influence on what she does.
Well, but as the select board,
Well, we have an MOU with her, don't we?
you're asking me?
Yeah.
I'm on the board for a couple
Isn't
months.
There is one standing, yes.
Okay.
For her pay and.
Yeah, just
Right.
simple.
It's a simple MOU. I understand that. Does that change? I would hope so. If she comes back, it's got to be under a different MOU.
Right, I think it would be.
Yeah, we can make adjustments, I guess. It would be dealing with her, though. It's not, like, I'm not the clerk's boss, so I can't tell her, you need to do this for the board.
No. I think we should just...
No, we...
Have a meeting, you mean?
Yeah, just talk about it.
Discussion with us.
Yeah, it should be a
I
discussion with the
mean,
board.
we are the holders of
I'm not-
the budget.
Cash, yes.
I don't think there's any problems. We wish her the best. We just want to understand what's going on and how we work through that.
How we work through
How do we
it.
transition and keep the office open? And
Because technically, she will have left.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know that. That is the first thing I've heard.
Well, that's...
First
I seem to recall when I was out there.
Yes.
She announced
that there was, it was kind of happening, but I never put. But then when I heard, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember hearing about that. But okay, I was not part of any conversation that it's imminent and what is it going forward.
She had said back then that she was going to have potentially someone else. She was going to choose someone else to do the work, and I don't think that's up to her.
I don't think that's up to her.
We have to have a discussion with her. know what's the plan and how do we move
I'm sure
forward.
I'm sure there's statute to all
I'm sure.
of this.
I mean, I started looking into it,
And the
but I
town
had
clerk
no
is
answers.
not ours.
Right,
So-
they're an elected.
No, but we have the
paying.
obligation to make sure that
While our
it's,
town clerk is, what you're saying is while our town clerk is gone, the coverage is going to be,
The assistant.
the assistant is gonna cover, so the most important question for me is.
as
do
of
we have any
Thursday,
coverage?
she is gone, period.
But we have,
There is no discussion.
but we have coverage from the assistant town clerk that's been working there, who's
Yep.
gonna cover until our town clerk comes back.
But
So
she's not
she's
coming
not
back.
coming
She's
back.
retired.
So the sticky part of it is, so she says she can be gone for a month and then come back, and she's been working with Vermont Veemers on this.
You wouldn't call it retirement.
Yeah.
She's not, as far as I'm concerned,
is it a
she's
form of
going on
FMLA
a
or
long
something?
vacation. She's using
Leave of absence.
an extended leave, she's going on a leave
Yeah.
because she intends to return.
She'll be back in a month.
She's told us she intends to return.
Okay,
So
so
that's
she's
not
not
a,
retiring.
On a limited. The
Is there a
words-
letter?
There is a letter, in fact. There is a retirement letter.
Then she's retiring.
What's the date on it? Effective when?
right,
I'm not sure.
Because if she retires, you can't come back.
Yeah.
right.
You can't
Well,
unretire.
that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but if she can,
You can come back as a consultant or something
why
like
wouldn't
that.
she go on a leave?
But as an elected official, I don't know how that works.
The term isn't
Neither-
done
neither do
until.
I.
I wasn't really, this is roundtable, so really no action could be taken.
Right,
I'm just asking the question so that we can,
I don't think there's action to take.
right. You just,
There's not much we can
There
do.
is, if she should
No.
come talk.
there's some research that you can.
Should have come
I don't have that.
before now, but she's talking to Joe, right?
I don't know.
There'll more to follow on this right here. It sounds like
Yeah, let's.
it's a good heads up.
So you don't
We
have
gotta
the
look
letter
at
with
it.
you?
I don't have it with me,
Oh, okay.
no. But one did come through today for Jenny to process.
Okay. So it's.
I
it's in
thought
process.
I thought once
So
retirement was retirement. I thought we just went through that with someone else.
I just don't know how it's dealt with on an elected official.
$100.
Does that mean
Why
we
does she get to call the shots?
appoint someone?
Because she's elected.
I let her know.
It's different. We don't call the shots with elected.
Okay, so it's good.
Right, but
Okay, but I guess I'm asking, if she's retired, then that's, if the word retired is mentioned in the letter, then that means all pay stops, all going forward
no longer an
obligations.
employee.
She has not requested payment. She hasn't requested payment as of the last pay period. I don't know, Rod. We'll have to dig.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get
It's gonna come down
information.
to the letter. What does the letter say, and what's the effective date of the letter, and then we go forward.
Well, give us more information so we can be prepared and.
I'm not looking to shortchange her, I'm just looking
Right.
to know what we're gonna do going
Figure out what's
forward.
going on. Yeah.
I'm good.
And keep the office staffed. Earlier, this is roundtable, separate discussion. Earlier, we had somebody complain about Benson Lane. I'd like just follow up on that. Let us know what's going on. He claims he's been having trouble with it for 2 years. So there's Benson Lane, right?
Yeah, it was
Yes,
Benson Lane,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
He said it was gonna be paved.
We filled the hole.
We graded it and filled the hole, so it was, but.
Oh, I don't need to pave it. Let's just make sure we're
The
keeping.
holes might be back.
Let's make sure we're keeping up on
Is
the
it
holes.
dirt road? or-
It's
Dirt road.
it's
Yeah.
really, really nice right now. I go there almost every day.
He
That
did
wasn't
say
the
paved.
impression I got.
He did say
He
pay.
said paved.
It's not on the list of pay.
Right.
It's not paved.
It's not
yeah.
paved.
No.
It's
not
a
on
private road.
It's not on our pavement list.
It's a private
Okay.
road, isn't it?
Okay, that's all I had. Benson Lane and
but-
yeah.
We'll take a
Did
look
you
and
want to bring up the subject of the drainage going across someone's
The
property?
The person that mentioned our stormwater going out into his property,
So, yes,
Larry?
Mr. Rasmussen.
Larry Rasmussen.
I'm not looking for an answer or to start a big conversation, but can we get it, can we maybe
Get some information.
just
So-
get some information?
Yeah, I mean, I have what I have, if you guys want to hear what I have. So, Mr. Rasmussen called it might have been late last year, early this year, said, you're eroding away my property from your stormwater. So Aaron and I went back to take a look, and I've had a conversation with Mr. Rasmussen about this. If you look, the hill is kind of shaped, his property is kind of shaped like that, with a gully, and that's where the stormwater comes out. The claim is that our stormwater had in effect, cut his hill in half to make a gully. Aaron and I went and looked, there is no erosion as claimed. It's pretty much armored and stone lined going down. Big trees, 20, 30, 40 years old, growing close to the gully and then up and out. At this point, it's just speculation. Pulteney Meadowy is in the area looking at potential improvements to our stormwater system, and they'll be coming in a couple meetings to talk about that. What I'm thinking and what Meadowy had thought was that he had seen somebody looking at the stormwater system, said, hey, something's going on, and then started calling around looking for why is my property being eroded. So, long story short, we don't see a problem. If he has concerns, he'll have to get a study done, because where it sits now, there's no issue.
Okay. We couldn't just put a little riprap in the gully with Pulteney Meadowy's help.
You said it was stone lined, right?
There's
That's riprap?
Yeah, there's boulders and big stones. It looks like somebody put in.
No, he said he was doing that to recover.
I missed that.
There were times that he was, I didn't know who
he was
talking
talking that about a couple people in town that did the original work and put the drainage in, but I mean,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're not at risk of being out of some kind of compliance with our stormwater.
The state has inspected
The
it,
state
and Pulteney Meadowy has been
It
there.
has been there, and, okay.
So this is surface runoff. Okay, I thought he was
Comes
talking
out of
about, it comes out of the pipe. No.
Stormwater comes through that grading and out.
So the pipe comes out and it's air, it goes to air.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not familiar with the grade or anything like that, so.
I have no idea.
We talked to. I'm not going to convince him otherwise.
There's
I
no
was
way
thinking
to,
if there was something that, if Pulteney's
like on the
there-
airport road, when the guy had the water issue, and we cleaned out some ditching and put something, I didn't know if it was something like that, or
I
mean,
we'll look and see what we can.
if our water that's going down and going out into his property, is there,
It's causing trouble, that's.
right, I'm just saying I give them the same consideration as I did the group on the airport road, to say, okay, what is it, and if can it be mitigated at a reasonable cost?
Sure. I'll look into see maybe we can put some larger stone down there and make it.
And just double check, sometimes, you can't do things like that.
Yeah, and sometimes you just, the state would say, no,
Right, sometimes you can't.
we can't touch it. But,
So.
yeah, okay. Good catch.
Roundtable, review of financial reports. We've got a lot of warrants and
Did I
to
get a cheat
approve.
sheet here?
Did I give it?
Carol's hogging them all.
No, I've got a cheat sheet.
Somewhere there's a cheat sheet.
Oh,
There's
someone's
a
got
cheat sheet
one.
for someone to make some motions with.
Yeah, right there.
Does
Look at
someone
that,
have
how
one?
did I open
Give
up
it around and let
there you go.
There's your cheat sheet. And
Oh,
for all the motions.
okay, that one's signed. That one's signed.
I think it's 5 of them,
That one's signed. Okay.
This is an odd one because there are, it's the end of the fiscal year, so there's two.
Oh, check. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I could get that for you.
I make a motion to pay the payroll, June 26th payroll warrant for $31,081.33.
Second?
Motion made by Rod, seconded by Glenn to pay the June 26th payroll. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to pay the June 30th special warrant for payroll for $9,316.27.
Second.
Motion made by Rod, seconded by Glenn for the June 30th payroll special warrant. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Make a motion to pay the July 1st special payroll warrant for $7,123.01.
Second.
Motion made by Rod, seconded by Glenn for the July 1st special payroll warrant. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to pay the June 30th general fund warrant for $86,907.11.
Second.
Motion by Rod, seconded by Glenn for the June 30th general fund warrant. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And finally, I make a motion to pay the July 1st special general fund warrant for $104,369.46.
Second.
Motion by Rod, seconded by Glenn. July 1st special general fund warrant. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Checkbook balance is $281,981.37.
Okay.
It's not bad for end of year.
No.
And then I need a motion for executive session.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to go into executive session to discuss the EV charging station contract under 1 VSA 313A1 and also to discuss the revolving loan fund approval.
Same contract.
Same
yeah.
under 1 VSA 313A1
Yes.
also?
It's also a contract.
Is there a second? Motion by Glenn, seconded by Rod. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're in executive session at 9:07.
Like a lot.
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Glenn, Rod. Come out of executive session at 9:24. All in favor?
Aye. Okay, I have a couple motions. One is I'll make a motion to accept the agreement for Blink Network LLC, the electric charging stations, and have to be signed by Joe.
Sure. Town manager.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Glenn, seconded by Carol to authorize the town manager to sign the Blink contract for the new EV, to trade out the new EV stations. Any discussion? Biggest thing is there's a little bit of income.
Right, we'll be getting income for a charging station.
We're reversing the flow of money.
Reversing the flow. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, I also like to make a motion to accept the revolving loan fund application from David Nelson and of Nelson Reynolds for $30,000.
Motion made by Glenn, second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Rod. To approve the revolving loan application, David Nelson, in the amount of $30,000. Any other discussion? 5-year term.
5-year term, 0% interest.
Anything else? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay.
I think motion
to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned at 9:26.
Thank you.
Thank you.